Hiya. I thought I'd just set up something and do a small little video here. I'm in my mum and dad's house in Harbour in Britain, in Ireland. And so there'll be some action going on in the background. But and of course I couldn't bring my my iPad holder with me. It was too big. So I'm kind of stuck now, but she's sitting beside me on the table, and I hope that I'm not going to be hitting the iPad when I'm filming. So I'm mixing some lemon yellow and cadmium red together there in order to make a warmer yellow colour for that. I suppose it's a black-eyed Susan, I'm not sure. I found it in the garden out there. And I thought I'd start with that, and that's probably close to being the highest thing, really. There's also I forget what that's called, no, lovely purple one. Starts with P, I think. That's higher than this, but I'm just going to start anyway with the yellow because that's looking at me directly. And I think it being the lightest colour, it's no harm maybe to start with that, so that I won't be so it'll be dry and I'll be able to paint in the background. There's some darks around it that would help to explain the shape of the petals, I think. I mean, it's a lot brighter there now than it is in reality. I don't know if it's that orangey. I think a touch of blue into it might help. So just to dull it down rather than to make it really reddish orange. So a bit of the ultramarine blue went in there in order to kind of make it a slightly duller colour. And of course the background has got light coming through, so some of those yellows are really bright in the background. Anyway, when I half close my eyes, most of them are in shadow, and it's really just the rim of them that's catching the light, so I think it's okay to make it fairly dull. It would be very dark in the centre, but at the moment I just want to keep going with the lighter colours, and I think I might go for the green next. So I'm just using that same yellow with the sap green. Thought you could see my palette. I'm using the same yellow with the sap green, so the yellow, red and green really is what I'm using. A tiny bit of the ultramarine blues in there too. I'll just see if that'll work for the leaves of the fuchsia here. I pulled down the blind because it was just, I mean, it's gorgeous, it was just too sunny, because everything was kind of fierce bright then. But these fuchsia leaves are kind of a nice blue-greeny colour, but they have got that hint of yellow as well. So I think I'll maybe mix the colour for the fuchsia leaves later. That will be darker, but for now this is I think it's fine as a kind of mid-tone. Every so often it gets really bright outside, I can feel the heat. I didn't go for a swim yet, but I think I will later today with my sister when the tide is in full. I had a swim yesterday with her. A really quick dip. I'd say we drove over and we were in and out in 10 minutes. Because I was babysitting my other sister's children last night and I needed to be up there. But we had time for a quick run in. Now this leaf that I'm painting in the background has got a lighter, so it's a lighter colour than those ones. It looks the same in the painting, but later on I can make it a little bit, I can make these ones a little bit darker later on. And for now I think they're fine. I put a little bit more green, more blue into the green. Now that I'm onto those leaves that are down lower, they seem to be a bit bluer down there. There's one that's catching the light here, and it's kind of leaning over onto the first fuchsia. It's overlapped by the first fuchsia. I might just let that dry before doing anything in the fuchsia. And some of that same blue-green now could be touched into these darker fuchsia leaves up here. And there's also something dark coming in here. Dark triangle. It's really more the inside of the pot, I would say. Maybe. But green will do it for now anyway. And then over here there's more green. Pulmonaria, is it? Periwinkle maybe. I don't know, whatever that is called now. It's purple anyway. It's a lovely lilac colour. When we were small there used to be loads of them on the ditches, and they were more dark purple. The ones that I see around here now are light purple. Maybe it's just the time of year as well that these are the ones that are out in autumn. But it's got a lovely windmilly kind of flower in the back. That leaf now is quite light coloured, but it's a blue light. That leaf. It's really quite light. I don't think I've got any purple to do that beautiful flower, but I'll make something that'll hopefully go some way towards explaining it. There's another green dividing up the petals here. There's some background colours. I'm just using watercolour today. I didn't bother bringing any stencils or anything, or oil pastels or any other drawing tools. I'm just simply using paint, water, and my usual flat brushes. These were used for face painting yesterday because the local team won a big game, and the children this morning, just today, I used them today as well. They were to paint their faces and come in with their team's colours into school. So I painted my two nieces' faces with black and amber flags, which is the colour of Kilbrittain. They won the county final on Friday, and I was at it. I was hurling. Fantastic. I went along after getting off the plane. That's where I went, and it was a great night. Very close game. Very, very well played, both teams. And of course, we were jubilant going home. All the cousins and everything were at it, and one of my nephews was actually playing in the younger ones. You know, he's 8, I think, and they ended up having a little game at half time, so he was delighted to be on the pitch as well. Just trying to place these leaves now best I can where they are. But it was a nice thing coming home to have something like that to go to at the start, like. And then I've got a dark green in there, and then there's a dark green in this petal too. And I might as well go on with my dark greens and put them wherever else I see them, seeing as I've got it on the brush already. A little bud back there. It's kind of dark green at knot flower, that is. Might be part of the yellow. And you know, that leaf there is really a lot lighter in colour, so I might end up lifting off some of that colour if I clean the brush. Get a clean brush and just make it damp. So washing it and then drying it a bit on the paper towel. Do you see how you can lift out a bit the light then? Keep going back, washing it and drying it a bit, and then lifting it out. And if you wanted to, you could pick up the paper towel and print it onto it. Right, so I'll do that. I don't have much of a background on this paper now, so it'll bend, but it's alright. So that made it a good bit lighter, didn't it? And now, where will I put the fuchsia? I suppose I could try and find a colour to explain the purple flower first, maybe. Over on the right hand side there, slightly higher than the right hand side, and it's slightly higher than the yellow one. And there's blue. I might use this ultramarine blue mixed with the alizarin crimson and see if that'll give me some sort of lilac-y colour. It's difficult to see there now, but it's not too bad. A bit more blue, I think. And I'm relying on the white of the paper through it to lighten it significantly. You can't see, sorry. So it's purpley, but it'll be the white of the paper coming through it will hopefully lighten it enough. So I'll clean the brush off a fair bit now. You see, you can tell how much paint there is on the brush when you touch it into the white paper towel, and it's got a fair bit of purple. So I think I'll chance it. Even after being washed a couple of times, I think there's still enough pigment in there to make some sort of mark. And the edges of the flower to me look like they're more colourful than the insides of the petals. So that's why I'm starting at the outsides, placing the purple. More watery. I quite like when it gets really fluid. Something pleasing about that. Rather than having it all dry, you know. I think that'll do for now. I might let it dry off and come back to that. This petal needs a bit more dark at the top of it, I think. And maybe this one too. No, I might put a bit of brown on. That's a vase that my mum found. And it's lovely, it's tight at the top so it holds the flower as well. And I'm not sure I want to put in all the fuchsia because I kind of like the width of the thing. And if I put the fuchsia in, it'll pull them down that way. So I might just put the one up here that's up quite high. And maybe the one that's up quite high on that side. And a little bit of the brown pot I might put in. I want to put in the brown pot because of it being so helpful to explain the edge of this flower in the foreground. I was going to get the burnt sienna out, but instead I'm going to use the cadmium red and the Van Dyke brown there to make a burnt sienna kind of colour. Don't really need, to be honest, I don't really need an awful lot of red at all because it's more a dark brown, isn't it? Just use the blue to make it darker again. It's not really very red, and I think it would be better for it not to be red because the fuchsia might be competing with it then. I'm not 100% convinced that this is the wisest course of action to put in the dark pot, because maybe it might be nicer to just have dancing flowers across the page. So maybe I'll not commit to doing the whole pot, but just touches of these dark colours that I'm seeing in places, including in the centre of the black-eyed Susan, maybe. No, I'm ignoring the tiny petal that's interrupting the centre. And later on I can put some dots into the seedy bits that are in there. There's some more red stems here. They're really quite bright red. I should probably use some alizarin crimson in there as well, maybe. We'll see. I'll just put a nod to them as I'm already using the red for the brown in the pot. I might as well put in some of the colours, the kind of mahogany style colours of the stems of the fuchsia bush. Even although they will, I think, need to be made significantly later. No, I said I was just going to put the high one in. I think I'm going to put in the one that's below it as well. They're kind of nice in twos. So I'm doing the top of that one as well there. And, okay.
Too sunny.
Hmm?
I'm just putting these into the hot press. Yeah, there's a glare of the sun, isn't there?
Yeah, so I pulled down the blind behind to stop the sun from shining through too much. I'm just going to do a little bit of the stem on this side as well. And I think I will do one of those fuchsia over here, just the top one. So make a start on that as well. It's kind of handy just starting the fuchsia by painting the top, a little bit at the top. This one needs to be made lighter though. And the alizarin crimson now is the one. Do you know, I think that might have been burnt sienna I was using. No, it wasn't, because I made purple out of it. It must have been alizarin crimson. You wouldn't make purple with burnt sienna, would you? Yeah, it is. I think it is crimson I had out. There it is. And that'll be a good colour now to describe the warmth in these flowers. I was going to start doing the stems, but there's a lot of colour in the brush, so I think I'll just use it first to disperse the colour around petals and things. You know, despite the sunshine, there's regular showers here as well. Kind of nice. I had a lovely walk out the beach and I missed all the showers. But I can hear every so often what sounds like a flurry of rain. I don't think that was there now. Yeah, so painting on some fairly strong colour here, but I can also come back when it's dry and lift off a little bit of that. And now, see if that's dry enough. It is. So I can paint the other fuchsia over that now, hopefully. I mean, really, this leaf was kind of outlined or overlapped by the fuchsia, so that bit at the top needs to shift down, I'd say. So now I'm going to, maybe I've lifted the position of these fuchsia and changed them a little bit actually, but I'm not going to stress out about that. I'm just enjoying their shape, really. And it's kind of nice being this distance away from the image, so I don't feel like I'm crouching over it. I'm seeing the whole thing at the same time, and I've got a bit of distance between myself and the flowers, which suits me. But I want to use a thinner brush to describe the stems, or just a different brush, because this one I've got has got loads of paint on it still. I want it to be I want the stems to be significantly thinner. So I could almost have a lost and found line to describe the stems. Maybe lift that up a bit higher, that flower. Or I could behave as though there's more than one of them overlapping, so that the flower petal could come across here. And it could be that there's another one in front of it, and down there. I guess it's not a precise art, is it? Ooh. Yeah, so what I like doing then is having these lovely stamen, nice and bright, coming down. Sorry, now I'm just finishing off the other two. And the stamen will come down from here too. And there's those lovely purple ones as well. But I think I've kind of mixed up a couple here so they're layered over each other. I don't really mind that because I think there's a sense of jostling together when it's, with fuchsia they're like bushes. They're kind of jostling together a bit. I think I kind of get away with it, with those two being slightly layered over each other. I did want to lift off a little bit of the colour on that one, so it's not quite a dominant dark there. Just try holding the back of the brush and letting it pull some of that down. Probably better with the pointed tip. And then there's the purple. Which I'm making again with the ultramarine blue and the alizarin crimson. Making that purple colour for the little bit at the centre, And there's one there too, but I kind of messed up those two flowers because they're kind of two in one, if you like. But I think I'll make the stamen drop down further. I like them having a bit of an elegant length to them. So I'm putting some of that same purple colour as kind of little baubles at the end. I might do it here as well. And it looks to me like I'm going to need to maybe make some of these stamen to alter them a little bit, those little bits sticking out, because they look to me to be more separate than they are in my painting. You know, so you could separate them either by lifting out some light or by painting the dark of the pot and behind them. We'll see. Anyway, there's another fuchsia over here that I had thought to do. So I'll get onto that one now with my alizarin crimson. It's quite watery. This fuchsia has got a little bit more of more light on it, and it's wider at the base. The petals are wider. Nice and bright. I think I better stop the video and start another one because it's taking so long.